Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chad. I'm your Tall Tailor, and today we're talking about tote bags. Everyone I know has a tote. Everyone you know probably has a tote too, so we're just gonna get right into it. Totes are a pretty great project to start as a beginner because you can make them as simple or as complex as you want. I'll show you guys how to make a simple, bare bones tote, then we'll make some more unique designs. Starting off, you need 4 pieces of fabric, 2 for the body of the bag and the other pair for the straps. You can make these as big or as small as you want, but I'll put the dimensions I used in the description. We'll put the straps aside for now and work on the body. Now for the body, we're going to use a French seam to stitch it together. French seams are usually used on women's wear, blouses, lingerie, that kind of stuff, but I think they'll make a dope addition to the bag. Now for the first step, you're going to take the pieces of the body and put them together with the right sides facing out and stitch around 3 of the sides, the 2 sides and the bottom. Now we're going to stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and after that we're going to take our scissors and just trim away any excess bits. After we finish trimming, we're going to flip the bag inside out. After you flip it, you're going to grab your iron and press the seam nice and flat. Then we're going to sew at 3/8 of an inch all the way around. When you're done, it should look something like this. Next up, we're going to take the top edge of the bag and fold it in by 2 inches, pin it, and then run a stitch all the way around. This is what it should look like. Now I added 2 rows of stitching on mine, but you could add like 3 or 4 or whatever you think looks the best. Now we're going to flip the bag inside out one more time and stitch down the corners, kind of like how I'm showing you in the video. This is just to add more structure and make the tote bag look a little bit more 3D. You don't have to do this, but I think it looks better on bags. Alright, so we're done with the body of the bag for now. Now let's work on the straps. Grab your straps and fold them in half, and then sew down the long length of the strap at about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So you sewed the strap down. Now we're gonna flip the strap inside out. This is like mad tedious to do, not gonna lie. It helps if you press the seam open and then slowly fold and roll the strap in on itself. Not gonna lie, it's gonna take a long time to do. It helps if you have something to push inside the strap. I just use my finger. Yeah, after you do that, flatten the strap down with an iron. Now we'll just run 2 parallel stitches along the edge of the strap. This is just so the strap doesn't roll in on itself. You can even add contrast color stitching on these threads as well too. I just put black because I thought it looked the best. Now we'll just stitch the straps to the bag. I added a 5-inch distance between the 2 straps, and then we're done. And we're done. Again, a super regular normal size tote bag. You can make the dimensions as big or as small as you want. This is just the size I thought worked the best. Just to show you guys the difference on the interior with the French seam, this is what it looks like. And we can just compare that to a standard traditional tote bag, which on the inside usually is overlocked. As you can see the difference, the overlocked one has stitches and the French seam one looks a lot cleaner on the interior of the bag. I think the French seam looks a lot better, and also if you don't have a serger or an overlock machine, the French seam is going to be a lot cleaner as well. A little bit more challenging, but I think it's definitely a good addition to the bag. Now that we got that out of the way, to illustrate the versatility of the tote bag, I'm going to show you guys some designs that I made. Starting this tote off like I do all my totes, designing it on paper, then grabbing all the materials I need. For this specific bag, I'm using about like 4 pairs of jeans and some bandanas, opening up the jeans and cutting all the pieces I need into small little squares. All the patches I need are now cut out. Next step is to lay them side by side to see how they look together. Now that all the bigger patches are sewn on, I grabbed some smaller patches and stitched them on to add more of a unique flair to the bag. Bag 1 is finished. You can make these as simple or as complicated as you want. Just look at this, yo. Look, this has got like different types of denim, bandanas, camel pieces, pieces of blue fabric. So yeah, if you haven't already, definitely consider making a denim patchwork bag, or take some of the elements from this bag and add it to your current bag design. On to the next bag. Bag number 2, we're making this one out of canvas and we're gonna wax the bag as well. Now I used candles to wax it, probably should have used beeswax or fabric wax, but let's just pretend I did that. Yo, is that my Instagram? Yo, how'd that get in there? Crazy. With all the waxing done, it's time to melt in the wax. Unfortunately, I used a hairdryer. In retrospect, I probably just should have used an iron on low heat. It's a lot faster. So the wax is melted in, and next step, I'm using a red quilted fabric to make the lining for the bag, cutting the lining down, and all I have to do now is stitch it in, and then we're done. We're done with this bag, and it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's 1 yard by, I think, half a yard. Yeah, it's like, it's honestly like too big. I don't think I needed to make the bag this big. It was kind of like, make it just because I could, you know what I'm saying? The quilted interior looks really dope too, and the contrast between the black and the red, I think that's really dope. We got a zipper on the top, and we also have a smaller compartment here for like miscellaneous items and stuff like that. The whole process for waxing the bag, it was my first time waxing anything, so you know what I'm saying, it went pretty well. If I ever do this next time, I'm gonna get proper wax for fabric. I think they sell like fabric wax or beeswax or something like that. The waxing process for this bag is kind of like the sanding process for my bookshelf. It's okay in small doses, but when you gotta like hand sand an entire bookshelf, you know what I'm saying, it gets kind of tedious to do. Same thing for this bag. Any waxing I do in the future is probably gonna be like a smaller thing, maybe like a smaller bag or like a jacket, something not this ridiculous. So yeah, on to the next bag. Last bag, we're in the home stretch now. I don't usually like to pick favorites, but if I did, this bag would definitely be a contender. For the exterior, medium weight transparent vinyl. For the interior, bandanas. I just got these bandanas at the bandana store. We're sandwiching the vinyl in between the 2 layers of bandanas, stitching it down, and cutting off the excess. For the corners of the bag, same thing I did in the first bag I made, stitching down the corners to make it more of a boxy look, and then just cutting off the excess. Now comes the most tedious part, flipping the entire assembly inside out so that the bandana's on the inside and the vinyl's on the outside. This is made tedious because the vinyl is so stiff, so I really gotta work patiently and slowly so I can flip the whole thing. After that, I flip the top of the bag in by 1 inch and stitch all the way around the opening. Lastly, we're making the straps. I just take a piece of vinyl, fold it over on itself, and stitch down the ends, pretty much exactly how I made the first straps, and then just attach it to the bag. This is what the bag looks like. Vinyl with a bandana interior. So the inside of the bag is nice and soft bandana cloth, and the outside is like a water repellent vinyl material. This was a little bit difficult to sew. I've made a couple vinyl bags before, but this is probably the favorite one I've made because of the bandana print on the inside. One thing, if you guys do plan on sewing a bag like this or sewing anything with vinyl, make sure you play with your tension and get sharper needles for like thicker fabric. As well as those 3 bags, I also made a corduroy one out of a pair of corduroy pants. This one's got like the back pocket as like a front pocket here. This is what the other side looks like. This one has a little bit longer straps. And I also made a patchwork denim. It's not a tote bag, it's like a messenger bag, but it sort of follows the same principles. This is what the other side looks like too. Got an adjustable strap. You know what I'm saying? So you can wear like over the shoulder or crossbody, and I also got a smaller pocket. Oh, there we go. On the front here, that's just held together by a snap, and the big compartment opened by a snap as well too. Thank you guys for watching. Now that you guys know a little bit more about tote bags,
get out there, create your own bags, and yeah, just have fun with it. As I said, it's a really great beginner project. A tote bag is like the quintessential bag of this generation. Now everyone's got a tote bag, so why not make your tote bag custom and make it personalized to you? If you guys do end up making some tote bags, make sure to tag me on Instagram at the Tall Tailor. I'd definitely love to see them. You guys have been tagging me in other stuff as well too. Maybe in the future I might make like a subscriber like top 10 subscriber creations video, something like that. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at the Tall Tailor. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.